Hi everyone, and welcome to our Quizlet webinar. We are going to go over the basics of Quizlet, and we'll also talk a little bit more in depth about some of the features that are available to you for free in Quizlet. So the first thing that we want to do is obviously get signed up for an account if you don't have one already. So when you first go to Quizlet, you'll be asked to either create an account or you'll be asked to log into your account. You can log in through Google if you want to. You can also log in through your Facebook if you want to as well. So there's a few different options there as far as logging in. So when you get logged in, this is going to be your dashboard. This is what you'll see. You might not see everything I see because of what I've used in the past. So once you get some of your sets set up and once you get some of those things going after we get rolling today, then you'll be able to see a few more options in here as well. So first of all, let's just say what Quizlet is. So it's a website. It's also an app. You can use it in a few different ways, but really it was originally designed to help kids with vocabulary. And that's really its main purpose today as well. Now there's a lot more features here as well. So first of all, let's get started with saying this. The best part, I think, about Quizlet is that you're able to search sets that are already created. So all of your sets, you can make them public, and other teachers have made them public. And you can go in and you can search. So for example, if I'm maybe doing some research, my kids are doing some research or learning about presidential elections, I can type that in and you'll see that there are a bunch of sets here, literally hundreds. I don't know if there's a number here, but there are hundreds of different things, sets available for presidential elections. So any topic that you want, whether it's a foreign language or a specific subject that you're teaching, there are sets already created in here, which is wonderful. So okay, so let's go back a second. And let's talk about a couple of things that you see on this page. So first of all, up here at the top, it says Quizlet Teacher gets 6 months for free. So you don't need to sign up for the premium account. I've always used the free account, and it's always done more than it's what I've wanted it to do in my class. There are a lot of functions that I actually don't even use. So I would say that if you are thinking about doing this, just research a little bit about what it is. It may suit the needs of some teachers, but definitely, like I said, I have never used the paid version, and I think it's actually worked out just fine. So with that being said, over here on the right-hand side, I'll just show you around a little bit before we get started. You have a few different things here. So first of all, your study sets. So those are all the sets that you've made, vocab sets that you've made for your class. In settings, there's a few different options in there. You can log out. There's a help center. So if you're looking for some more information or more help after this webinar, you could always check it out there. For teachers, it does give you a little more information about how teachers can use this in their classrooms. There is a volume discount, so if your district is looking to get the paid version and you're looking for for the entire district, you might want to shoot that over to your admin, and maybe they can help you out with that. And then there's another thing here that says get 6 months for free. So you can get 6 months for free if you get somebody else to sign up as well for the paid account. So a few different options there. Over here on the left-hand side, you have Browse Diagrams. Now this is a brand new feature. I'll just quickly show you what diagrams are. So diagrams, you can see here, these are just a few. So there is 7 Wonders of the World. So you can, I'll show you what one of those look like. So it's basically, it is a diagram, which hopefully loads here in a second, and you're able to click in and actually get a little bit more information about each one of these places. So there is there's a ton of diagrams. I haven't really used this with my class yet, but with that being said, there are a lot that have already been created. So you can see here digestive system, teeth, the brain, frog anatomy. So there's a lot of things here. This actually is a really great plant cell structures, really good diagram of that as well. So you can bring these in. You can use other people's diagrams in your lessons. So with that being said, Quizlet is really expanding their horizons, I suppose, and they're doing new things that that go above and beyond just vocabulary as well, which I think is great. Okay, so let's go over to latest activities, the next one. So anything that you've created, the most recent things that you've created will be in there. Your study sets, again, that is going to be the sets that you've created. And then your classes are down here. So you have a couple of different options here. This year, I'll show you, I didn't put any students in my class this year yet. but that doesn't mean that my kids haven't used it. So if you do that, if you actually create a class and you add students in here, you can create sets, and then you can actually assign those specific sets to specific students. So that is an option. Now, notice I don't have any students in here right now. The one member, it just means me. But once you set up a class, you can actually give the kids this link right here, this specific link, and they will be able to join your class. Okay, so it's pretty simple to have your kids join. So once they do that, they have to type in their information. They have their own account, and they're able to they'll be a part of your class here. So it's a very easy setup as far as getting kids to join. Okay, and creating a class is as simple as pushing this button. You can put in this information. It is pulling up my school, so you can select a school here, and you can create the class after that. Okay, so let me show you a few things that are available here. So let me go to my study set. So I'll just show you one that I have created. So I created one I think it was actually yesterday, the day before, which was on where I live. I teach 3rd grade, so in social studies, it's communities of the world, but we always start with what, where we specifically live, starting with Earth and then working our way down to our town or our city or where our school is. So I very easily just put in a couple of things here. So you down here on the bottom of this page, after you create the title, you're putting in all of your terms. So you're putting in this situation, I put in New York, and then after that I put in the state that we live in. Population was one of the vocabulary words that we were working on, and then I put in the definition of that. So you can see you don't need to just do the definitions, but like for this one I put 7. It's the number of continents on the earth, okay? Because there are a lot of games that the kids are playing where they're matching things up and they're moving things around, and there's like a memory game that we can do where we can match up the definitions or the terms with those definitions or with those other statements. So you can see here I just put in a bunch of those. Now I can add or remove terms, so I can push that. You can see here that this is actually what it looks like when you actually put them in. So I can go down to the bottom here. I could add a card, and I could put something else in there as well. Okay, so I'll say 50, and I can say the number of states in the USA. And I actually think that I already put that one in there, but that's how easy it is to actually add it in. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this because I already have that one, but that is how you put in your cards or your terms. So you can push done after you're finished with that. Now I do want to show you, actually I should have shown you while I was in there, so I'm just going to go back to that quickly. Something else that you could do is you can actually put in a picture over here. You can add a definition, the auto definition, which it pulls that definition, and also you could add a voice recording. So if for New York, instead of just putting in the state that we live in, I could actually do an image of New York State so they could kind of match up to see what it looks like. You could do that. Also, I've seen some people do this with famous artwork. So if you're an art teacher, you could put in the name of a painting and then also a picture of the painting, and they have to match up which one it is, or maybe an artist with that painting. So there's a lot of possibilities here that you could use with this, and that is basically it. That is how we add. This. Now, a couple of options right up here towards the top, visible to everyone. So this right now is in the public domain of Quizlet, so other teachers could find this and then use it as well. And I will talk about that in a couple of seconds, but what you can do, if I wanted to, I could search for somebody else's, and you can edit someone else's. So, for example, if this is in the public domain, obviously, like number 5, the town where we are right now, I put Gasport. If obviously somebody else is going to use this, they're not going to put Gasport. So they would be able to edit the terms as well. Okay, only editable by me. I could change that, and I could say it's visible to everyone, and I'm going to say it's editable to. I'm going to say just me. That doesn't mean that someone else can't edit this, but that does mean that they would make a copy of this set into their own account, and then they would be able to edit. So if we say editable by me here, then you're only going to be able to edit this specific set that's in my account. Okay, but maybe you have a team that you're working with. You can say people with a password, so that way if you want to give the people in your grade level the chance to edit this specific set, they could do that. Okay, so that's what we're looking at there. Okay, all right, so now that we're done with that, I'm going to click done, and I'm going to head back over here. So this is now my search. This is my my set. So there's a few different options here. So there is the kids can access this. The kids can access this in a couple different ways. So I could assign this to students. Okay. I could share it with students. There's a few different ways we could do that. I could share it. I push the share button. I could share it on Google Classroom. I could share it on Facebook, or I could share it on Twitter. I could also share it via link. We do use Google Classroom in my school, so I could click on Google Classroom and it would share it right into that with right into the Classroom page with my students. It's totally up to you how you're using this. Something that you could do too, if your kids are on devices, you could always copy the link. And I'm not sure if you've used QR code generators, but this one is QR-code-generator.com. So this is a QR code generator where you could type in that URL, create the QR code. You could put this up on your screen, the QR code up on the screen. The kids could take they could use a QR code reader to scan that, and then they would go right to this set. Okay, so that is an option as well. Just thinking of some different ways that you could get that to students. But like I said, if you have Google Classroom, probably the easiest way to share it with kids. Okay. All right. So once we have that, once the kids have it, they have a few different options here, and I'll go over each one of these. So number one, we could learn. All right, learn. This is what it looks like. This will work on the Quizlet app. You'll see the same things there, and the app is free. So if you're looking to download the app, I would just have a conversation with your tech department, see if they can add that to your iPads for you. Okay, so the capital of our country. So this very simple. This is just basic flashcards. So the capital of our country, Washington, D.C. And then it tells me that I'm right. I'm going to get the next one wrong. The planet that we live on. And notice what it's pulling here. It's pulling four different answers within that set. Okay, so I'm going to click on USA. So notice what it does here. It tells me the correct answer, and it says also what I said. Okay, so it does give the kids an answer or a chance to learn what it is that we were talking about. Okay, so that one, it does give the kids a chance to see the correct answer and hopefully learn from their mistake. Okay, the capital of New York. All right, so we're going to go with Albany. Perfect. So you can kind of see what we do there. All right, the second one says flashcards. So let's take a look at that. I'll click on flashcards, and notice that we have here, it says the state that we live in. This, I can click it, and it flips it over for me. So it says New York, right? So they can actually just study. Instead of having index cards in front of them, they could study using a digital version of that. Okay. Right, we could take a look at right. So the state that we live in, and then the kids could actually go ahead and type that in. So the state that we live in, I'm going to say New York. Answer, and it says that I'm correct. So press any button to continue. The number of continents on the earth, I'm going to go ahead and give a wrong answer. And notice that it does say, it does tell me the correct answer again. Okay, so the kids have that information, and again, hopefully learning from their mistakes. And I could keep going on here. So notice over on the side it says number remaining, number incorrect, and the number correct. All right, so now we can go over to spell. So if you're looking to do some sort of spelling test with this, you could do that.
USA.
So this is obviously meant as a spelling test.
Earth. Mexico.
Okay. So you can kind of get the idea of what we see here. So that is the spelling link. Test. The test. This is you can see here. This is the way it goes. So there's some written questions. It does some in multiple choice, and then true false as well. And then you can check your answers after that. Match. I can show you what match is. Match. Start the game. Okay, so we're matching them up as we go. So Earth, let's see, we say Earth, the capital of our country. I'm just going to organize these a little bit. So population, okay, the number of people that live there. So if you put them together, you can kind of see that, what happens here. So above the United States, Canada, I'll show you what happens if we get one wrong. So the planet that we live on, I'll say New York. And notice that it's red and it doesn't let you do that. And notice there's a timer over on the side so the kids can see how fast they could do this. So kind of a fun little way to do a match. There is gravity. Gravity is fun, but you need to make sure that you run it in the right way. So this is a fun little game. So we'll get started here. Notice that it says answer with term or answer with definition. All right, so I'm going to do term in this situation, and I'll show you what that looks like. So start game. We want to watch out for those red asteroids. So the kids have to do this before answer the question before it falls to the bottom. So the capital of New York. I'm going to go with Albany. Okay, so it takes it away once. It takes it away once I... Actually, you know what? This one could be interesting because I'm not sure how I put it in. Oh, yep, it still did take it with Washington, D.C., and I think I didn't put the periods in there. So the country we live in, I'm just going to say... You know what? I'm going to say America for this because I don't know if that's going to take it. Yeah. So I think it's in there as USA. So you can kind of see it has to be pretty specific, and you'd be good there. So anyways, this one is just kind of a fun little game. It's called Gravity. All right, the next thing I'm going to have a conversation about is Quizlet Live. Now, I will be very honest with you. This is probably one of the coolest parts that I think, anyways, that the kids enjoyed the most. This is meant to be an entire. It's something that the kids do all together. This is going to be something that you're probably going to do with your entire class. So let's watch a quick video on this, and you can learn a little bit more about what Quizlet Live is.
Hi, I'm Thompson. I work here at Quizlet. Today we're going to show you our new in-class activity, Quizlet Live. Quizlet Live allows you to use your study sets in the classroom to help your students learn soft skills like teamwork and communication and hard vocabulary skills. I'm here in Quizlet's office with our team. We love to test our products before we ship it out to all of you. Today, the team are my students. Say hi, team.
Hi, Mr. A.
We're going to show you what Quizlet Live will look like in your classroom. Every student will need a computer or a mobile device. First, we'll select Live Study Mode, and then click Create Game. So my teacher computer is telling the students to type Quizlet.live into their web browser. Quizlet Live works with a mix of devices, so any student should be able to join in no time, just by entering the 6-digit code above. As students join, you can see the student count and the names of students who have joined. It's important to encourage your students to type in their real names. That way they can easily find their team at the next step. If one of your students types in a nonsensical name, you can easily click to scratch it out and then have your student re-enter their name. Quizlet Live creates random teams of 3 to 4 students. This helps students who normally don't talk to each other learn to work and communicate together. Now our students will move around to get into their teams. Teams will need to communicate to pick the right term and work closely together to get each question right. We find that Quizlet Live works really well for introducing new material and final reviews before assessments. My teacher computer is now projecting the leaderboard. The first team to 12 wins. However, one wrong answer will send you back to the start. Oh, sorry, snakes. Congratulations, penguins. As soon as the game is over, we can review how the whole class did. We can see what terms they learned by playing the game, terms they regularly missed, and terms they know by heart. I can also use this time to review frequently missed pairs and help reinforce these concepts. We've been testing this game in schools across the country. We're always looking for ways to improve it, and we want to hear about problems you encounter. Thanks.
Okay, so as you can see, this is an awesome game to get kids working together, and like he said in the video as well, it's an awesome way for students who usually don't work together just to come together as a team. Because this game, it really doesn't work if you don't have if you're not talking as a team and having conversations. With this, let's be clear. You do need to make sure that you have devices. So if you're using it for Quizlet Live, if you're using this, you need to have at least 6 devices. I would say even if you're having kids, partner up to look at devices, you need probably at least 6 devices to do that. You can also, I would say, every student in the class, if you are one-to-one, if everybody does have a device, I would say that's the perfect scenario. So if you have that many devices, that is perfect. Okay. This is what it would look like. I could go ahead and I could create game, it's going to say that the kids need to go to Quizlet.live. This does not work in the Quizlet app, okay? So the kids actually do need to go to an internet browser, some sort of browser, and they need to type in Quizlet.live and then use the join code that's listed here. The join code is different every time, so it's not that a teacher always has the same join code. It is going to be that the kids always see a unique join code, so nobody else could join this group, okay? After that, the kids put that in, and then they're going to go ahead and put in their name. Like they said, it is pretty important that they put in their actual name, so you know when you're breaking up kids into their groups in the room that you know who they are. So you want to make sure that they put in their real names. After they do that, the kids' names are going to show up over here on the side, and then you can get started. I would tell you that every time that I've ever done this, the students want to play the same set couple of times, which you know what, I'm more than okay with that because the kids are learning. They're it's being reinforced. Those same words that we're working on, they're being reinforced. Now let me go back a couple of steps here because I want to show you something that's very important. So the first couple of times that I did this, I was looking and I was like, okay, why isn't this working for me? Because this button wasn't even showing up over here, this Quizlet Live. In order to play Quizlet Live, you need to have at least 11 words in your set. So I do have 11 words down here. You need to make sure you have 11. If you do not have 11, this Quizlet Live button will not be there. That's because in the game, you need to reach 11 first. The first team to get to 11 is the winning team. If you have more than 11 words, it actually is really nice because every game is different. So if I were to play this game once with the kids and then I was going to do it immediately after and we have 20 words in the set, the kids wouldn't get the same exact words every single time. There would be a little bit of a differentiation there. So you would have completely different games based on that. So just kind of keep that in mind. All right, so that is what we have. Now let me go back to Quizlet, the main page here, and let me just show you a couple of more things. So up in the search bar, like I said, you can look at a set. So let's go to, I'm going to do words about Brazil. So I'm just going to type in Brazil, and actually that one's mine. So let's see if I can find here. Okay, so here's a couple down here about Brazil. So let me just click on that. This one has 27 terms in it. This is the username, the person who created it. And I can just go down here and see all of the terms and then all of the definitions and see that they also have pictures in here as well. So sometimes, why reinvent the wheel? Because some of these are really great already. So just take a look and see what other people have created. And you can also edit this as well. So I'm just looking here. Yeah, and that looks pretty good to me. So I'm actually going to go up here and there's a little button that says copy. I'm going to copy that. And now notice that this brings it over into into a new set. So I could actually say this now is a copy of that set that I just saw. It is in my account now. Okay. So now down here I can actually go in and I can edit these. So if I'm thinking, yeah, I don't really need my kids to know the Amazon basin, so I can delete that term, and we'd be good to go there. So you can go ahead and you can add different pictures. You can add different definitions if you want to simplify them. If you have younger kids. Or the other way around as well, if you want to make them a little more difficult. So that is there for you. And then I can push create up here at the top. That's because what it's doing is it's creating it for my set. So now it says that I have it here. It's under my name. Okay. So I took this work that somebody other teacher did. I edited it, or maybe not. Maybe you didn't edit the set at all, but you put it into your own account. So now if I go back to Quizlet. And I go back to latest activity, I scroll down a little bit. Actually, you know what? It's not there. Let's see if it's under your study sets. Yep, there it is. So your study sets, and now you can see the one about Brazil is here. So now I can use that with my kids in the same exact way that we just talked about with all of those different options. Okay, so that was a lot of information. That is pretty much what we're looking at here. One last thing that I'll say is if you do hook this up to your Google Classroom and you're sharing study sets with specific kids, that is the best bet. And I'll tell you, it's the easiest to go through Google Chrome because you can assign it to specific kids. So, even if you are doing some spelling practice in here, I could put a list of spelling words in here, give them to the kids. And then in Google Classroom, I can assign it to specific members of the class. So instead of setting it to the entire class, I can set it to just 5 or 6 kids who have that spelling list, or whatever you're looking to do. Maybe some of your kids are learning something in social studies or history that some other kids are not quite ready for. So that is an option. So you can just send it to specific kids. Okay. So I hope that is helpful, and if you have any questions, by all means, let me know. You can put it in the comments here, or you can jump over on Facebook and ask me at Mr. Malt's Marketplace. You can also ask me there, and I'd be happy to help you out. And if you have other ideas as well, if you have other ideas of the ways that you use Quizlet, I'd be happy to hear that. So thanks so much, and thanks for visiting.